Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Dale and I are back as we discuss Only Lovers Left Alive, directed by Jim Jarmusch. A depressed musician reunites with his lover. However, their romance, which has already endured several centuries, is disrupted by the arrival of her uncontrollable younger sister. This movie was made on a budget of $7 million and brought in $7.6 million at the box office. Oh, that was just about. That still made a loss, though, depending on how much they spent in
It's a
marketing.
lot.
But
Yeah.
also, they don't get, it brings in 7.6 at the box office, but the studio doesn't get all of that. So it's made a loss. Oh dear.
It is. It is. Yep. There's a bad
Yep,
one.
made a loss. So this came up when we were doing What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
When we discussed the episode The Trial, and Tilda Swinton was in it. And we are both like, was Tilda Swinton in a vampire movie?
Yeah.
And sure enough, we had a look, and sure enough,
There she is.
there she
Yeah.
is.
She played a vampire.
Yeah.
Yes. She bloody looked the part too, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a minute. I know it said in the credits Tom Hiddleston, but it took me a minute to picture Adam's character as Tom Hiddleston. He actually looks different.
Yes, he does, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah. I loved him as Loki. I mean, and I also love that hotel series he did. So this must have been around the time that he was coming into Hollywood type movies. Didn't he look amazing? Oh my goodness.
How to say? So this is definitely a slow burner.
It is.
2 hours
Yeah.
long, 2 hours and a bit
Yeah.
actually.
Yep, too long, I'm afraid to say.
Could have definitely taken half an hour off this easily.
Definitely.
Especially when we don't get to the actual part of the story until an hour into it.
I know. It's exactly an hour into it. So there's a whole hour of fluffing around at the beginning, that kind of convoluted storyline that I found it really hard to understand this one.
I didn't hate it. It's an artsy fartsy piece, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate it. I was just kind of going along with the atmosphere and so on. I wouldn't watch it again. It's one of them ones I wouldn't stick it on again because there's no point.
No. Two great actors, but
John Hurt as well. Can't forget the late great
exactly.
John Hurt. He's in it.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but this is probably one of the worst vampire ones I've watched. It's a character film. It's all about the characters. There's a lot of things going on in there that anyway, these loose ends. I just feel like there's plot fails. Anyway,
there's massive gaping holes you have to step around in this because they sort of introduce a concept and an idea and give you no context.
No, and it's like what you and I have been discussing about, okay, here's American TV, producers, and they have to explain everything so that we can get what's going on, this is what's happened, there's a lot of telling us. This one is done the complete opposite. He's not telling us nothing. And it's like they've forgot to tell us the backstory. How did you guys meet? How long have you been alive? I wanted to know all that.
Yeah, that's the first sort of vampire movie without flashbacks.
Yes.
They didn't bother with that. It's not like Interview with a Vampire where they sort of flash back in time to throughout history, which makes me wonder where the budget went. Because it's very minimalistic. Apart from the cast, obviously you've got, they would have cost a pretty penny.
There's no action. There's no vampiric action whatsoever. So where the hell did the money go? There's no flying. There's no, I think we only saw Adam do a couple of quick, fast hand movements.
But nothing.
Nothing. No. what type of vampires are these guys? I mean, that's what I was wondering. They've picked a couple of vampires, and Marlowe, of course, and it's just like, well, what was the point? They could have just been ordinary people because they didn't do anything extraordinary at all.
No,
I don't know.
like that's why I said it's like an artsy fartsy piece. It's more there is a comedic element to it, but it's very strained, isn't it?
It is. They don't know how to do it. They didn't know how to put it together, I don't think, because when I read afterwards that it's a comedy, I'm like, where was the comedy? I wasn't laughing. Isn't comedy supposed to make you laugh? No.
Hey, Chris.
I missed the point. Hi, Chris. I missed the point.
Yeah. So we start off and we got our. It was interesting using the top down shots.
Yes.
That
Yes.
they might have spent a bit of money on that, but we've basically discovered that vampires don't like tidy homes. Like we've got Adam and Eve, funny enough, is the characters' names because let's just telegraph that and be unoriginal.
And if that if that was a play on the Bible story, it didn't gel. Are they supposed to be Adam and Eve?
Yeah, I think that's the hint, or else they've went because of the. You don't know because they weren't the first vampires because John Hurt's character is older than them, and the hint that
Exactly.
there's more older ones, so they're not the first and they're not the longest.
No.
And what actually from the brief conversations with I can't remember his character's name, but he knew Eve before Adam was turned.
Yes. Yes.
So we've kind of already got with that few sentences, we know it's a long lineage before these two,
Yep.
so they're not the first two. It's not really relevant.
No. Anyway.
But so we've got Eve. She's doing, it's basically showing how they're living together but apart, sort of thing. And she's all her fluffy blankets and stuff, and just lives like how would you describe it? Like a hippie commune for
It
one.
is, isn't it? It is. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
switch between her and then Adam's doing the same thing using the top down shot, and he lives in an absolute dive. Like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he's really playing the tortured artist sort of trope.
Yes. Yes. I think the messy house situation, I think that might have just been to push the narrative that here we have a vampire that's actually got a mental illness. Sorry to laugh, but a vampire with depression, suicidal vampire. That's one out of the box. That one is. So I'm thinking actually that the reason the house looks so cluttered and everything is because he's a hoarder. So I that's what I think, because I can't imagine why. But then again, you've got to think, well, perhaps they have been around for 2,000 years. And he's just managed to collect all this rubbish, all these trinkets over the years, and I guess it felt a little bit authentic because we're used to seeing vampires living in beautiful homes, glass to wall, ceilings and all that sort of stuff. So this was a bit more authentic. I think I'll give them that, that they made this look authentic enough to that, okay, all these books, I mean, yeah, all this artwork, all these guitars, all the sort of obsessions he has, it's shown in the look of the house. And yeah, so that was really well. I think that was well done. But yeah, you're right. It is a bit cluttered. I couldn't live like that personally.
No, that would drive me. Like I would, if you had a music room or an area, you would have, Also, the fact is, he's living in Detroit. She's living in Tangiers.
Yeah.
And she's just as bad, I mean, books just piled up, like to me, with the wealth they have, because they're both shown to have wealth.
Yeah.
Why not have a library? No, and especially, just have if you're living in a flat, an apartment, which he was, just buy the downstairs ones and make it your library.
Yeah, yeah. So they're not
Without,
really.
without living in a mansion, do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
have buy the two and have the downstairs one. But maybe that's just me. And the same as
But
him.
if the libraries are full, show us the library.
Yeah.
Show us the reason why they're all packed up on the staircase.
It's it's an odd one. And then him as well. He's bought a don't know what he's bought. He's bound to have bought the house because you couldn't just be squatting.
No, exactly.
Didn't they do that with the Candyman remake? They had that bit of Detroit and they're showing that there's entire like neighborhoods just left the rot.
I actually haven't watched the second Candyman yet, but really, okay.
I think
See,
they've done that as well with the Jordan Peele one that's shown like whole streets just left, and it doesn't make sense. If that's true, it doesn't make sense because people, especially cities, are swarmed with people, and you'd think that every bit of land would be repurposed and reused, and
yeah,
I don't know. I've no answer, but he's
Oh,
effectively living in a house in an abandoned neighborhood.
mm.
And
Why is it abandoned? I mean, I was beginning to wonder, okay, did the end of the world happen?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's a thing. That's why I'm making reference to that Candyman, the 20. When was that? 2017 or something?
Was it? Oh God, isn't there been an even updated one?
Yeah, well, there's obviously there's three Candyman movies, the two sequels, but then Jordan Peele did what was it? A continuation / reboot. I was a mess. Cameron and I talked
Oh,
about it. He liked it. I didn't. Surprise, surprise.
surprise.
Yeah, it annoyed me.
So is that what Detroit looks like? Is that
Apparently,
like?
yeah. Apparently, it's a real dive. Never been, no interest. But yeah, apparently there are neighborhoods or something that are just left. God, what else did it do? Barbarian that did it as well. I think it was set in Detroit. So it seems to be a thing there. There's a certain part that's just left. Just all these empty houses.
Wow.
Which once again I don't understand because, like in Barbarian, there was like the one homeless guy who squatted in one of the houses, and you're thinking, no, that would become Tent City.
Exactly.
It would.
Exactly.
I don't know, but apparently it's a thing, so I can get it. The only reason this makes sense is because I've seen it before, and I've seen it enough times with the same city to make me think that it's a real thing.
Okay,
but
cool.
Still, buy 3 or 4 houses, have one as your studio, and live living area, especially if they live together.
Yeah.
You can see her. I don't know. It's a real odd one, isn't it?
It definitely is. Yep.
There's story but no context, and it manages to go for 2 hours without actually telling you anything, which is like that.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but like you said, I definitely wouldn't watch it again.
It's a strange charm to it. It's sort of a popcorn flick. You just get it for to watch the character acting and so forth. I can't even think of a movie to compare it to.
No. I think the slow burn kind of reminded me of Let the Right One In. That sort of dark, solemn looking place. It's grey. It's that's about the only thing I could think of is Let the Right One In, the one we reviewed together actually. Yeah, that kind of gave me those sorts of vibes. It was quite a slow burn, character acting as opposed to storyline situation. That'd be the only one I could compare it to,
But that was a really gripping tale, you were given enough to understand what the characters were. This, we're still scratching our head going, what's just happened?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But we have Tim, is it? No,
Ian.
Sorry, Ian.
Yep.
Ian arrives, and Ian's like Adam's go-to guy. He brings him stuff, and he arrives, and he's got guitar cases, and basically he's going and searching for antique guitars, and this is where Adam kind of gets himself excited, and geeking out and
Yes.
going over stuff. And yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's where he totally resonates with the character. Yeah, get excited about random stuff that nobody else cares about. I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly, eh? Oh my God. But yeah, no, that was quite cool. Yeah, Ian, I think Ian tended to be a little bit like a familiar,
Yes, but not a
but not.
familiar, but not a
Yes,
familiar. It's he could have been a familiar
he could have been quite easily.
if
Yep.
this universe has familiars, which because even John Hurt's character, he had a pupil. What a pupil on what?
Yes. On what? I mean, literature? I don't know.
Right.
Was he the familiar? I don't know. Were
Yeah.
we
So it's
told? No.
no.
Were we given any hints? No. Hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
that's kind of what there. So you're like, so we've got this. Adam's getting the guitars and stuff from Ian, and then he decides he wants a wooden bullet.
Yes.
And then I'm thinking, hold on, what movie is it? If a vampire gets depressed and fed up, they just go and sit and watch the sunrise. That's usually the trope.
That's right.
And I'm trying to think of
That,
the one where she goes and she sits in the park bench. Was it one of the Blade movies?
I don't
Oh,
know.
God, I've watched too many bloody movies. I can't remember. There's one in particular, one of the main characters. She decides she's had enough, and she goes to sit in the park bench, to watch the sunrise.
Was that Blade or was it something to do with Interview with the Vampire series? I can't remember.
Was it Interview with a Vampire?
I was thinking, is it Queen of the Damned or something?
Might have been one of the female leads.
It could quite possibly have been. I can't. Oh,
She's
well,
had
I'll
enough,
have
so she goes and sits at a park bench and waits for the sun to come up, and then
right.
she fries
How
herself.
easy is that? If you're going to kill yourself and you're a vampire, why get somebody to make a wooden bullet that's going to act like a stake and go through your heart when you could just walk outside? Yeah.
Pull the curtains.
Okay. Yeah.
But obviously, we need an overly convoluted plot.
This is the weirdest one that we've done together, I think. This is the weirdest review we've done together, I think.
Yeah, because it's not even bad. It's confusing. It's just, what is this?
Yeah. And I can't slack it off because it's got 3 brilliant bloody actors in it, and they did really well. But where's the writer?
Yeah, but
where's oh God.
That's where do you know what I always say when I judge a movie? It's the writing first, the story, then the characters. Because if you have got a strong story, you don't have to have strong actors because the story kind of pulls them along.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's a good example.
Yep.
With Lord of the Rings, look at most of the hobbits, most of the actors played the hobbits and stuff. They were, mediocre at best.
Yeah. Even Aragorn, I mean, yeah.
But when you've got a good story, strong direction, you can get the best out of them.
Yes.
If you don't have the story there, you can have the best actors in the world.
Yeah.
And they can do their best and try, but it doesn't, if the actual words coming out of their mouth don't make sense and the scenes don't make sense, nothing they can do.
then how are we supposed to understand the story if if the actors themselves, they're probably looking at the storyline going, why the hell are we doing this, why are we doing that, well, that doesn't make sense or whatever, but hey, you don't know till you've started acting in a film, do you? So really the storyline is the most important bit of the film, especially if you don't have a writer. I mean, I don't even know if they do have a writer. I think the person that made this had a hand in it, but yeah, the storyline was too messed up. I couldn't write a story like that with loose ends and no backstory, or I'm beginning to wonder if the director actually wrote it. He probably did.
Could be. I could go and look it up, but I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah,
'Cause
no.
nobody I want to get excited about. What was it? Then Ian asked to go to the bathroom. Turns out it's been broken, and you would think you'd have stuff like that sorted. If there's a thing with the vampires, I'm guessing they're doing like an equivalent to the masquerade, and hide themselves and don't be. It's not true blood, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely not.
So things like that would kind of be ingrained, or how do you last so long?
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
this part of the depression thing?
Exactly. So it
Which,
seems like in the storyline, his depression comes and goes because it's mentioned, oh, you've done this before, So even then, it was a bit hit and miss with that
I think it's the tortured artist approach. Oh, I'm an artist, I must be tormented. And it's such a boring trope. It has
trope.
been
It is.
overdone
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
decades. It's just one of them overdone tropes that is like, oh, please stop.
It is. It's along that lines, and I also think it's also they tried to make out that Adam's really, really, really depressed and suicidal and all that, and it's like, but it didn't really hit home, because it's like, well, why would you be so depressed when you've got, you can do anything you want, and they didn't do anything.
No.
So
the reason he's gotten, or he has a connection with Ian, is because he's a musician. He puts music out under pseudonyms.
yes.
And every time he does this, it's the greatest thing ever in the underground scene, and
Yes, he did do that. That's
blah,
right.
blah, blah, sort of thing. And then he's being overly rude to the one person that gets him stuff, which is just silly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Pushes them out the door, and feel free to piss in the garden and stuff, and you're just like, okay, right. It's one of these characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose after living for how many centuries, you do get a little bit shitty. You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but at the same time, though, go and do something else. Like,
Yeah, but see,
with this lifetime, I try so many different things
yes.
because I don't want to miss out. I want to try stuff.
Yeah.
Podcasting. I've tried writing, music, cooking, model making, diorama. I've all sorts, different careers and stuff. Just because I don't want to just be stuck with one thing, and I want to try. Just the good. I've done martial arts, sports, you name it. So if you had thousands of years, you'd go and you'd try it all, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And not just become not be just a musician, but you would be the best musician. You would study all the different arts, and
Yeah, like what happened with Lestat. He
mm,
became he decided to be be in a band.
yeah,
One of the top bands in the world, according to the storyline. So, yeah, you did right. You wouldn't be sitting around doing nothing. You'd want to go. I mean, maybe they've done everything, but there's still more to do, right?
there's never enough. Come on, there's
Yeah, especially if you're immortal and you've got all the money in the world and you can do whatever the hell you want. Why didn't they play that up?
I think it was to keep the. This is I don't know. I think it's an art. I think it's been a funded piece, by an arts council or something. I'm getting the impression it's one of those that they've
Yeah,
went to, can we have some money, please, to make this? This is going to be fantastic. And then they've just wanted to keep keep the locations to the minimum.
yeah.
But Bounce Across and Eve isn't really much better.
No, she's
Like,
not.
she goes to the cafe and John Hurtscott, did I put his name? Kit. Yeah, sorry, Kit. Flip's sake.
Yeah.
Kit comes in and now we find out how they get their blood. They go to certain places and it's almost like drug dealing, the
It
way they're
is.
treating it.
Yes, it is. Very much so. It's like it's a drug trade, and it's not.
Yep, and they're talking about the good stuff and all and that. And then we sort of
Why?
get,
Sorry.
I don't know, just
Can't
what
you just-
I'll give them
Uh,
kudos for is at least they don't do the silly vampire thing of, oh, bite the neck and blood goes and they were more of it than the. Hey, that was last vampire movie I did with Cameron. I was complaining about that because they're trying to just show all the blood go everywhere, and you're like, no wonder you need to eat 20 people because you don't finish one.
yeah.
Finish one, you'd be
Right.
sorted. God,
Yes, that's right.
that film was awful. That was terrible. That one. But yeah, so apparently they only need like the smallest amount of blood really to live.
I know.
Which
What's up with that?
doesn't make sense later on.
No.
So they
Oh
politely
my.
put in the little sherry glasses and we get that joint scene where they're both doing it in their own places.
And they're both like KO'd on some sort of heroin hit.
Yeah.
It's that effect, and it's like, really, is that what blood does to you? It doesn't like just give you vitality. No, it puts you out into some sort of trance, and it's like, how can a vampire be affected? Oh, I don't know.
I'm thinking that because they go to certain places, is there stuff in the blood that they're getting? Like Adam goes to a lab, or a hospital,
Yeah.
and it's certain stuff that this
Yeah, O negative.
researchers working on, and I'm just wondering, are they getting laced? Because they keep talking about the good stuff, and you're like,
What's good stuff? Yeah. Is the good stuff unlaced? I don't know. Is it good stuff because it's not contaminated?
yeah, because they're talking about humans being contaminated with stuff, and I don't know. They didn't really go into it. It was sort of all hinted at.
It was hinted.
But this is only a
Sometimes.
short movie. Like, they didn't have any time to tell the story in. Like, they only got 2 hours and 9 minutes
Yeah.
to tell the
Only
story
12.
in.
Yeah.
I can understand why it was all left out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the action scenes were so amazing that, that's where all the budget went, into all the flying and the upside
They're rolling
down.
somebody under a carpet. That was the only
Ah,
real action scene, wasn't it?
it was.
Lifting a carpet.
Oh my God. Vampires having a problem with finding somewhere to put a dead body. Oh my God.
No,
They're not any type of vampires I know.
that was way later on. But yeah, but even back to the Morocco scene, because this is where it's building up those two obviously reuniting again. They're husband and wife, essentially, and apparently they do this, they live apart for a while.
Which we don't know why.
No, we don't know why or what's going on with them. Just happen there's no context, just happens.
No.
But I just love the way her and Kit, even Kit, just sit like they're both strange looking. They're both super pale. They both wear strange clothes, the gloves on, they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
In somewhere like Tangiers, which just doubles it. Like, they'd stand out in the Western country, but like going to somewhere like Tangiers, being the super pale people that only come out at night,
Exactly right. And
if we're-
everybody else is brown, and there's these two starkly white-looking entities walking around. It's
only
with
at
gloves.
nighttime, and isn't Morocco quite a superstitious country?
Yeah, right.
Nobody bats an eyelid, going, they're
Yeah, I've got what you need. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, no. Even choosing Tanzania or whatever. Why? I don't know.
they wanted to do a location shot. I honestly
Well,
think this. I think this is a. The more I think about this is an Arts Council funded grift.
yeah,
Honestly, it's they've
yeah.
stuck all the money in their back pocket or their travel because they wanted to go to Morocco. So they've like, oh, let's make a movie and get somebody to pay for it.
It actually looked like one of the one of the producers or the producing team or whatever, might have had a Moroccan name, so possibly that's why they used Morocco,
I
because
want to
they've
go
got some
home from
funding.
holidays.
Yeah,
Do you mind paying for it? Okay.
yeah,
Make a movie. All right. It's over 2 hours long, so you got your money's worth. That's wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's something that the washing machine been going with this one.
Yeah,
It's one of them
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Ah,
Mm,
God. So we're jumping between the two characters because it's building to them the phone call to come together. But there's another thing that bugs the absolute shit out of me. When Adam is in the hospital and he goes into the lab, that's a normal cupboard. That's not even that's a normal bloody cupboard, not even a fridge.
oh my god! Of
What
course.
is it with them dopey sound effects?
Oh my god! I
And it
don't
wasn't
even
even
know.
properly synced. It was like a
No,
slight delay between just the
yeah,
oh
it was actually quite an unexpected sound to my ears as well. Like it was something I wasn't expecting, and it was like, so it stuck out. So I don't know what they were up to with that, but
they're trying to make
obviously
it as if it's a super high
sealed.
tech.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Not it.
you actually see the door wobbling as he opens it. And you're like, no, 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 no. Come
Yes, there's
on.
a bit of that going on in this, I've noticed.
Oh, the car as well sound like something from 1970s sci-fi movie.
Can't he get a new car?
But I think you're trying to say that he's retrofitted it and it's all super future tech underneath. It's basically an electric car. And
Didn't he have to start it first?
yeah,
He had to do something in the bonnet to get it to go. And I'm thinking, why are you driving around in a 1960s car or whatever? I don't know.
but then
I don't know.
his house is full of retro technology as
It is.
well, and it's all cobbled together. And
Yes, and he's still walking around with a stethoscope from the 60s. So he's stuck in that era still, obviously, with the 60s car and the retro music and the retro instruments. Yeah. And then again, it's like, well, why is he stuck in that?
because he's supposed to
In
be
that
hundreds
era?
of years old, so it's not like he was
Yeah.
turned down.
So, no. I don't know.
It's confusing.
It is.
It really
It's one of the
is.
confusing movies I've watched. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know. Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
but that's the only way I can sort of talk about this movie. I don't know about you, but it's just scene by scene because there's no
no,
rhyme or reason. They're just showing how he
stability.
gets his blood, how she gets her blood.
Yes.
They only need a sherry glass full,
Yeah,
which they're scene later on makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
that's right. Yeah. It destroyed the plot at the end. So it made the plot unrealistic at the end. Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, the scene with
Sherry
the
glass Why sherry glasses? Why sherry glasses?
They're just trying to be
Well,
cool and edgy and civilized and not.
oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
whatever. And
Yeah. That's what they chose.
so, of course, they ring each other. Can't remember. Did Adam ring her?
Yes. 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 Yes, because her phone rang, I think. Yeah.
Yep. So we get the hello lover, blah 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 blah, and then she says she's going to go over to him because
Yeah,
obviously it had to happen.
because he's depressed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So she wants to go and save him.
That was a funny bit actually when she's on this, going through all her books. That would have cost more than her actual flight. That to put that on the hand luggage.
Oh,
If you
absolutely.
fill a suitcase of books and try and get onto a normal flight, you're flipping 80 kilo,
And
40 kilo limit.
why? Why couldn't she have put them in a safe somewhere? Why travel with them? I was lost. Why? Why couldn't she have a safe somewhere? I mean, these are vampires that can break things and build things and dig holes and put your books in a hole in the ground. I mean,
Was it supposed to be her favorite ones just for the trip? Like, was she planning to be there for how long?
but she did all that reading
Hmm.
before she left. What was up with that?
I don't know. See, I thought she was doing like speed reading and could memorize everything. Was it just to show us that she had a load of old books? Well, we kind of twigged that on the fact that she had a load of old books. And we kind of
Exactly.
could fill in the blanks ourselves without being. This is one of these tell, don't show type movies. So they had to
Yeah.
tell us that there were old books. I was like, do you know what? There's a lot of books. I could figure out on my own without being telegraphed that there are probably a few valuable ones and all over
Yeah.
the world. I
First
could work
editions.
that out
Yeah.
myself, movie. Thank you very much without you showing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I'm still lost as to why the hell she didn't leave the book somewhere safe and come back. I don't get it. Why take a whole pile of books to Detroit? And then they weren't even used. She wasn't even reading them.
No.
She was reading something on the plane, but sucks. It sucks.
It's odd.
Oh.
It's but the thing is, these scenes are a few minutes long each.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a quick, she picks up a few books. This was a whole flipping
Whole
montage
series.
scene.
Yeah.
So it's almost saying you must pay attention to this. This is important because we're spending so long on this scene.
Yeah.
No payoff.
For it to be a plot fail,
Mhm.
because now everyone's wondering, well, why the hell did you take all those books to Detroit and you brought them back again? Why? Why? We shouldn't be wondering why. We should know why. It should have been mentioned somewhere along the line why she's taking them. Oh, I'll bring my books because you know how valuable they are to me, and then even then I'd be, well, why bother taking them when you can just put them somewhere safe? I mean, you're a vampire, you've got the whole world at your fingertips.
But she's also got another vampire friend in the same city. Oh,
who could look after them?
would you house sit for me?
Yeah,
And also, are the rest of the books not valuable?
exactly. Right.
I can understand I can understand a quick scene of her like taking a couple, putting in the hold all, and we got it. She liked the read. But that whole scene, once again, was just overdone for absolutely no payoff.
No payoff whatsoever. Yeah. Yeah.
So it happens, I suppose. She flies the Detroit via Paris. All's good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She arrives at Adam's house. Rather chipper. All nice, no problems. because that's important for later.
Yep. It is.
Perfectly stand upright, no issues, and Adam meets her and takes the bags and all good, all very calm.
Yep.
And then the obviously get it on and they've been together and stuff and they're hanging out and must get all that scene.
Yep.
Okay. They're together again.
Yep. Yep, with no explanation as to why they were apart in the first place, but never mind.
And then there's the whole thing with Eve needing to be invited into Adam's home. And I'm kind of like, hold on, I thought you two were like together. And maybe, you might have your own, but where's your shared space? That's what's getting me is if they've been together that long but to spend time apart, which is fair enough over the centuries, you need to do that, but still, where's their shared space? It doesn't, and why did she need to be invited in? His space.
It's messed up the vampire lore, hasn't it? Because a vampire doesn't need to be invited into a vampire's house.
Yeah, it's a human's house.
As far as I know, they only have to get permission to go into a human's house. So did she get invited into the cafe? No. But she has to be invited to go into her husband's house.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And what's up with this glove thing? You have to ask permission to take your gloves off?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I've never seen that before in a vampire film. Why?
I can understand her wearing the gloves because of her ability. She doesn't want to be triggering it all the time, but it's the weirdest ritual, I don't know. I'm just.
I mean, why did they put that in there? Someone needs to explain it, because I'm just like, I don't know. Why do you have to do that?
And it's not like this is only a short movie, so I understand there's no time to actually explain it. I mean, they've only had 2 hours and 9 minutes. But I don't know, if they had time to squeeze in another scene where they went to another vampire's house where they weren't invited, and maybe that played out. I don't know.
But even when, I'm not going to spoil anything, but even when Ava turns up, the same situation happens. You were supposed to ask before you come into a vampire's house, and it's like, but then there was no
nothing happened.
No.
Like, when you mentioned, you brought up Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
That has been the best scene ever. What happens if a vampire comes in uninvited. That has to be, in both versions, has to be the best depiction of what happens with a vampire. The most concise, and you actually feel for the vampire, and that,
that was
I don't think it's ever been done as well there. So they've got a template to use, because that was a while ago, before this movie. Yes. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's just one of them weird. I don't think they know about vampires. I think they're they're normies.
Yeah, they are. They've got no idea about vampires. They've got no idea how to write a vampire story. They've got no idea how to film a fucking vampire story. Sorry for my French, but
yeah, we never fucking swear on this channel. You know what it's like. We're all P's and Q's here.
This is the first film that's made me go, fuck, this sucks. I'm sorry, but
even some of the shit movies we've done, at least you can have a laugh at them.
Yes.
But you can point at it and go, that's stupid. But this is just, I think we're going to get a lot more of this as well. This is what I'm concerned about, because there's a lot of normie directors, because Hollywood's crumbling. They need something to do, and they're all like, make a horror movie because
Yeah.
Horror fans are stupid and they'll watch anything. And horror's easy. And
Yeah.
that's why we're getting all this utter crap coming out.
Yep. Yep. That's right. So I don't know who this producer is, but he's obviously done nothing to this caliber whatsoever, and he failed. Sorry, miserably.
If you made a vampire movie, would it not help to be a wee bit interested in vampires?
Yeah, right.
Would that not be useful?
Tell it. Yeah, exactly. You can tell this person's got at the whole lot. They've got no idea what they're doing. I mean, oh my god, 2 hours worth of
And
rubbish.
9 minutes.
Yeah, and 9 minutes.
I felt those 9 minutes. That was actually about the 9 minutes at the end makes me go, why?
Yeah. Oh, I don't. It's so sad. Because vampires are so cool and you can do them so bloody well. We've got so many amazing examples of how it can be done well. We've got bad ones that, but this is the worst. This is the worst one I've watched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but for me,
no, there's nothing. I know I'm not a massive fan of the Twilight movies, but there's a logic, there's a universe, there's actually rules.
Yes, that's right.
That's fine. It works. You kind of go along that, okay, this is what happens.
Yep.
This doesn't. This is just like...
No, there's no, even with Twilight, okay, they've got the Volturi, there's no, in this one, there's no overseer, there's no god type of thing that or law or a consequence, At first I thought Marlowe was Shakespeare.
No, he was, what the story with him was, he was the one who wrote for Shakespeare initially. Shakespeare took his plays.
Right. Okay. All right.
There's a whole thing. I can't remember exactly, and I really couldn't be bothered looking it up. But I know Christopher Marlowe faked his own death.
Yes, I saw that.
That was found out. But yeah, it was a whole contentious thing that basically Shakespeare used his play, and it's still one of them bones of contentions today, whether Shakespeare actually wrote anything himself.
Because I've heard that there are about 3 or 4 other authors that actually wrote all of Shakespeare's work. No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything. Maybe, Chris, you could look into it or something. But
we'll just bring Chris on to do a crazy theory just right now. Go.
Yeah, go.
But it would make sense, actually, because Shakespeare was a playwright.
Yes.
So did he convert novels, stories into plays? There weren't plays that were written. And they're 2 different skill sets. He wrote for the stage.
Yep.
It might need be anything sinister, just in case of, I don't know, like if you write a short story and a director takes it and decides to go to make it into a movie, that's a different, just adapting it. So it's not stealing it. And usually if the writer does with their blessing.
Yeah. So,
or do we need to go and beat up Clayton now?
Yeah.
Do we need to go and have a word with Clayton?
Yeah, right.
But you know what I mean? It could be that simple.
Yeah.
I've written this. Can you?
Could be.
I'll sell it to you to put in the stage, please. No problem. It's now mine. Fair enough. There's a thing called ghostwriting.
Yes, there is.
It's a profession that's been around for
ever. I know.
And there's some very successful ghostwriters, and yeah,
possibly exactly. Yeah. So the thing that frustrated me about this film is that there's a lot of name dropping. lot of references to people. I've got no idea who the hell these people are. And am I supposed to know who these people are to get the gist of the
If you're in the
story?
right crowds, darling, if you're in the right crowds, this is
Yeah,
a movie for a certain crowd. You know, your nose has to be
it has to be.
a little up here. This is the arts, darling, the arts.
Yeah. Especially if you've got Tilda in there. It's
Oh,
definitely an
she
art
does. Yeah,
party.
she's loads of artsy fartsy. That's her whole bag, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So
God, I watched that weird one she did with Idris Elba recently. Last couple of
I
years,
haven't seen
the
that.
genie
No,
one.
no, I didn't see it.
All
No,
right,
no, no, no.
you're not. You've seen everything in the trailer. Watch the trailer. You've seen the entire movie.
Really?
Yeah,
God,
it's another
it's
one.
typical.
But yeah, that's same. You know,
Yeah.
it's almost the same movie as this. Just
Oh
it's got a genie in it
God.
and a few more special effects.
She actually, she just does the same thing over and over again. She, even in Benjamin Button as the swimmer, she was still that snotty freaking. I'm better than you. Why? Why are you? Because you look terrible. You look ugly. Sorry, I don't like to say that about the females, but she's not a very good-looking woman.
She's odd
But
looking.
she's very strange looking. That's why everybody remembers her name, because she's Tilda, because she's
typical Kensington, North London, leafy suburb, silver spoon in their mouth type theatre
she
person.
is. Yep.
That
would explain a lot.
Yeah, that's funny enough. I'm going to be doing a news article next couple of days about sort of the culture over here, because I think it's important.
Oh, interesting.
Because there is a massive thing. If you try to be a creative in the UK and you're not of that ilk, you're looked at as if you've got three heads. You're doing that? Why are you doing that, you working class scum?
Yeah, I know.
Stop getting above your station, peasant, and get back in your box.
I know. Oh my God, right?
It's ridiculous.
Oh, blimey. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, no, there was too many references to all these famous people that I've got no idea who they are, and it was boring and bland, and I was just like, I was over.
Do you know what they're trying to tell you?
That we're not very intelligent.
Well, that too, but also these might be vampires that have lived a long time.
Oh yeah,
because if 40 minutes into the movie you haven't figured that the fuck out yet, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie was not made for vampire fans, because it's only going to get vampire fans fucked off, because I'm pissed off that they went and ruined a freaking vampire film, because vampires are my favorite. They always have been, and when I see it destroyed like that, I was just ropeable. But I'm okay. I came back to myself and I'm like, all right, some people just don't get vampires, so they want to write a shit story about a vampire. Oh, a film. Sorry.
Yeah. I used to watch, when I was in like in my early 20s, I watched a lot of these type of movies. And French ones and all,
Oh, the ones at 3:00 in the morning when you get home from the pub. Yeah.
I know, and it's just those you sort of watch and go, okay, that was a thing. And then you immediately forget about it.
Yeah.
Or you don't even take it in while you're watching it. It's just on. And you're like, okay, right.
Yeah. Yep.
But Adam's obviously the zombies and blah, 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 hit the world and stuff. Well, you're living in a shithole in a shitty neighborhood that's run down.
Yeah.
Not
take control of your life, dude. Change your situation.
Chris says Detroit was a thriving city of auto manufacturing in the 70s and 80s, but it's gotten a reputation for being dilapidated and run down after the US started importing cars and parts from overseas.
Yes.
But once again, if they've got the factories and all their likes of the foreign factories still need their parts because it's cheaper to build on site, like Toyota and stuff will build cars, and like one of the biggest car places here is Ellesmere Port, and it's Toyota and Nissan and all,
Yep.
because after Rover closed, that was, there's no British cars anymore.
No. No.
Rolls Royce, but even then they're partly owned by somebody else now. I think they're partly owned by BMW and stuff now. So
Holden, they're gone now,
yeah, well,
but
it's still better to have manufacturing. So I don't understand why manufacturing didn't just, there's a factory. Oh, what's it built for? Making cars. Oh, everybody in that locale knows how to make cars. Dog, mightn't be as much, but
Yep.
Strange.
America. Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, it's strange.
But then we get all these hints about I had a dream. Kit says he had a dream. Adam says he has a dream. Tilda then goes, I had a dream too.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, is this ominous foreshadowing? Is this going to be a massive, is this something?
Is she going to be the devil incarnate? Is she going to be so scary because she turned us into vampires 500 years ago and, oh my God, we're so terrified of her. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah. No, but we don't get that.
No.
We get a whiny brat.
A whiny 17-year-old brat who likes to cause trouble with her sister and ruin fucking other people's lives. It was a flop. That entrance of her was a flop.
I was just like, what's the build up for? And plus the fact that this is the entire, premise of the plot.
It is, I know.
An hour later we get to it, and it's only 15 minutes at most.
I know. And she's a little flea. You could just flick her away. And then yeah. And they haven't seen her for 87 years because the last time she was there, she caused some real bad problems, which we don't get to see any flashbacks about. Yeah. Ava.
And then this is the whole thing about the blood where they're acting like crack addicts around a pipe.
Yeah.
Where do you
keep communication was quite cool. I liked the way that she telepathically gave them both a dream that she was coming. That was cool. But then
they built it up to be something else. If she's done that before, that's like equivalent of a phone call. Oh, I'm coming to see you, right? Has she only manifested this power or something? Once again,
I mean,
payoff.
I was expecting someone like the Baron to walk in, from something like that. She's going to be ancient and
even
I don't know.
A comedy TV show is more structured.
Oh yeah.
There's more lore and more explained lore, and in a friggin' mockumentary comedy show than this pile of shit.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Even the movie was more, there's more, you more about vampires. If you never knew anything about vampires, you watch the original What We Do in the Shadows movie, and you know about vampires.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And what was the budget of that? Wasn't 7 million?
Something like that.
It wasn't that much.
Yeah, that's right.
The TV,
and look how well that did. I mean, oh, blimey. You want a comedy horror blimmin' vampire thing? You watch that.
What We Did in the Shadows, non-TV series, 2014. The budget for that was 1.6 million for the movie.
Wow.
And how much better did that look?
What?
I knew it wasn't that much. It brought in 7.3 million when it was only a limited box office run. but
Oh
only
my
1.6 million to
God.
make. And look
And
how much better that looked.
it's a million times better than this.
Uh,
Unbelievable. I know where all the money went to pay for those actors.
yeah, pay for those 3 actors. That's where it went. So
That's
they
where it
could do
went.
some artsy fartsy drop. Like this could have been in the stage. Like for all the props and stuff, it may as well have been on the stage.
Could it? It could have been. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ada turns up, and she's just a brat, and yet we'll get the impression she's lived as long as I am almost,
Yes.
and she can't
Yes.
get
I
her
got
own
that.
blood supply sorted out, and they're acting as if we don't find out why the blood that they use is so special,
No.
and why they
No.
only need like the smallest of drops. But she's acting like a crack addict.
She is like she's not getting enough of it.
But
But
why didn't you bring her own? Like these people don't. How did they not get that sort of shit sorted out? How she lived this long?
as well as that, there's also the thing I'm wondering is why are they not drinking blood from humans? Why are they going about, if there's no context around any storyline to do with who these vampires are, where they came from, what their past was, I'm getting nothing solid to grab onto. So all the stories are like too loose. They're too loose.
Mm-hmm.
We're so used to seeing well-contained films that this one wasn't. It's like they had no idea what either of the characters were actually up to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like, is the
Yeah,
blood more refined, or has it been,
it's confusing.
yeah,
Yeah, is it good because it came from who? Why was it better? And why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you being more like a vampire? Why aren't
yeah.
you drinking the blood from humans?
It's
Why was that stopped? Yeah,
I can understand. Well, obviously, 21st century, you can understand them not doing that to
they said that,
be inconspicuous,
but that's
but
not a good enough
there's
excuse for me.
but I can understand them going down to the blood bank, handing somebody $100 and going, right, just getting a few bags. But why the super secret lab? But it's all
Yeah,
weird. And
yeah.
then she goes, when Kit brings it, it's in a little pharmaceutical bag, and it's all doesn't make sense.
No, because they're treating it like a drug,
And
and in actual fact, they need it to survive. So
yeah,
it's not a drug. Yeah.
and they don't need
So
that much.
no, they only need a drop.
Yeah.
A drop. Oh my god! It's just
So
like
once again,
yeah,
it's left there and it makes no sense whatsoever.
yeah.
But it's all, it just looks like a drug allegory, an addict allegory or something. It's just, that's what they're doing, but there's no payoff either.
No, not at all.
There's an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Yeah.
where, was it, which is the one, Angel? She bumps into Angel
Angel.
outside a
Yep.
hospital, and they're like, loads of vampires, she's about to wipe them out, and go, yeah, it's Tuesday. Everyone knows it's delivery day on Tuesday. Outside the blood bank, they're bringing in the thing, and a load of vampires turn up. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. That's better. That one bit of an episode of that kids' TV show makes more sense than this.
Yeah. Oh dear. Crazy.
The character of Eva really got my nerves. I know she's probably meant to, but they really went over the top with her.
Yeah, they did. Even her facials, were quite extreme. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what the point was in her going there, except for what she did. That was pretty bad.
But you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like that was
The build up,
set
it was
up from.
predictable. Yep. Yep. It was predictable, wasn't it? Seriously. I mean, oh my God. And what's up with him? God, this light.
Sunlight, yeah.
Too bright. It's too bright. Here we go.
No, I got blackout curtains and all and stuff too. Because do you remember I was doing when I'm doing day streams, the lights just hit me right in the side of the face.
Glaring. Yeah, no.
It's awful. Yeah,
I'm having the same problem.
Welcome to podcasting.
Yeah, no. Oh, blimey.
There's always something. There's always
yeah. Yes, Ava. She came in and then she just left.
But what gets me is this is supposed to be the whole point of this movie. This is what the movie's supposed to be revolved around, and it was a nothing. It was a blip.
I know.
Like she wasn't even in the movie 15 minutes.
No, not at all.
It was like an overnight visit.
Yeah, exactly. Why did they make that the plot? Why did they make that the whole premise of the story when it was?
There's no other plot in the movie. The rest is just scenes. This is the only thing that's sort of one scene needs the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, she obviously eats. How does Ian not know he shouldn't be there? Like,
Ian.
He goes to the bar with them. He knows they're heading back, and he knows that there's awkwardness. Like anyone else will have a brain and be like, "Yeah, I'm gone." This is, especially when he gets ridiculous amounts of money from Adam for his little jobs. So why is he going to wind them up when he already can tell there's drama and tension there?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, first off, I'm still lost as to the zombie situation. Are we all zombies now?
It's just a derogatory term he uses.
Is that what he's doing? Because that's what I was thinking was he's just calling humans zombies.
Yeah, like meat bags. It's the same. Blood bags, meat bags, zombies.
Yeah.
The herd. Kind of get it because people annoy me too. So I'm kind of on his same page as him because, like, the masses are ridiculously stupid and basic.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. People suck. We suck.
Yeah.
People suck. We're terrible creatures, definitely. We're the worst of the worst.
Yeah, but it was overplayed.
It was. Him putting his glasses on to try and fit in with the vampires at the nightclub. That was a little bit like oh, that's cool. A little bit of a funny thing.
Was there only one more vampire? Was that supposed to be another vampire?
I think so. But then what happened?
Once again, no payoff. There's a whole Ian's doing his wheeling and dealing and like record, just collectors, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
But that whole scene was made, and the whole him turning to the side and looking at them was all really overplayed for absolutely no payoff whatsoever.
No, and at first I thought he was a vampire, and then I thought, well, no, he can't be a vampire because he'd be wearing sunglasses, because logically, if you're writing a story like that, you would have the sunglasses
and
to
gloves.
Indicate. Yep, and that's right. That's right. If that was a vampire, indicate it. Don't let us think, is that a vampire, or is that a vampire hunter, or is that,
or is he a major part of the plot because it's centered on him so long?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, this might be important. Oh, it's not important.
It might be important.
They've done that this entire movie.
I know. It's set on loose ends that are hanging, that should all be, tied up, and they're not. Yeah, this is a box example, but no.
Yeah, I think Eva just drank Ian just to wind him up.
Yeah, she did. Yep. I think she wanted to get back at Adam for some reason, because there seems to be some tension between her and Adam. That's what I inferred from it. It wasn't actually said. Not that we need it to be said, but it could have been indicated, would have been good. But it seems like something happened between Adam and I don't think it was sexual or anything. Not that we bloody well know. But yeah, so I think she did it deliberately to piss Adam off.
Yeah.
To say, I am the strong, I can do this, and I'll get away with it. And bye-bye. Without blowing the plot. I won't go on any further.
There's no plot here. For Frick's sake, come on.
No, and it was back in 2013. I don't think anyone's going to go back and watch it anyway. But yeah, what happens to Ian? And then they just sit there right next to him, with him in between them, and
yeah, and then they find a pool of acid because that's handy. Just Ladner.
I know. Well, why didn't they use that for the other body?
It's funny. I thought acid's oxidized over time.
Maybe not.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I'll scrape through chemistry. I hate level chemistry. I spent too much time at the pub. I noticed my titrations were always excellent whenever I came back, because we always had like a weird study break between what was it, 11, and then our next class was like 2. So of course pubs open at 11, so I always come back with a few on my in the afternoon. But that was always when I tried to do titration sober, I always like just get the wee bit, do you know what they are? So it's when you have titrate, it's like a measuring thing, right? So what you do is you pour one chemical in the other, and you measure how much it takes to cause a reaction, and then you spend the next hour going scribble equations and blah.
Yes,
yeah. And if you don't hit it, the more accurate you can get it, the better your stuff happens and blah blah
chemistry.
blah. Fun.
Yeah, no.
That's why I didn't become a chemist, because no. That's why I went to do business admin then after that, because after first year, I'm like, nah, this is not for me.
God.
And I hate maths. But yeah, there'd be some that wouldn't just sit there like dormant. That would react and evaporate and mix with oxygen and stuff. But for the plot, it's there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay. That was a nothing. Like, that was all a nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much the flavor of this film.
Yep. And this is the bit that gets me. So the fly back. Now, we've already seen Ava fly there. Like, that's why I brought that up at the start. Not a problem.
No. Yes.
We also know that they only need like the bare minimum of blood
to last them. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So why are they coming back as if they've fallen to bits and weak and about to pass out?
About to die. They can't hardly walk up the stairs. They're just about to die when they get to the cafe. Yeah.
And the kid conveniently decides he's going to just die when they come back because, vampires get old and sick, apparently.
I'm not too sure if you noticed, but when he died, he was still breathing. He was breathing. You could see the actor breathing.
I don't think he gives it. I don't think he gave a shit, to be honest.
I don't think so either. He was breathing. I could see him breathing when she's leaning over him, and I'm like, is that her arm? It's not. It's him. And then they did the drawback where you got to see him from afar. He's breathing.
You know the original Dracula? You know Dracula, the original Hammer horror one? Christopher Lee?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yes.
One of his brides is in the coffin and she's breathing too, but you'd think that have figured out, they hadn't figured that out in the 56, that came out. Yeah. you can sort of forgive them back then for not being as refined. However, no, he just didn't care. He's like, I got paid. This is
Yeah,
wank. This
yeah.
is okay. You want me to say words? I'll say words.
Oh my god! And he hardly said any. And then
Nice.
and then he mucked up his death scene. It's like, was he pretending to be dead again? Did you know that was it another fake death?
Do you know that?
What?
See if this was a What We Do in the Shadows episode. They would cry
Yeah.
and they would leave, and then the camera would pan back, and he'd go like, "How's it going?"
Yes, yes,
Do
yes.
you know, it'd be something like that.
Yes, yes, yes,
It'd be like
yes.
he'd pretend to die in front of Colin Robinson, and then when Colin Robinson goes out, he'd be like, "Is he gone?"
Yeah, 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 exactly. Oh God.
Uh,
Oh, sad.
what do you call what the hell? Robert Patrick, flip's sake, I knew it was Patrick. Right. Terminator 2. Robert Patrick, the one that played the T-1000, he practiced running, holding his breath.
Really?
Yeah, he was a sports star, but what he did is he actually practiced for the role, running, not breathing,
Wow.
so that
See, that's commitment.
he wouldn't be panting or running out of breath, to make him look like a machine.
Wow.
And actually, he had to slow down because 3 times when he was chasing John Connor, he caught the bike. He was that fast when he's in that.
Oh,
So he actually
shivers.
sprinted and caught the bike about 3 times and had to get him to slow down. But that's, there's something that an actor's like, okay, I'm playing this role better. John Hurt just had to hold his breath for 5 seconds. He
I
didn't have to go to
know.
that extreme.
He couldn't even do that. Yeah. You can tell because we watch a lot of movies, right? And
One or
you can
two,
tell,
yes.
yeah, one or two. But I'll use Sir Peter Jackson as an example of, you can see when everybody wants to get into this film and they want help and they want to, they're giving 100% of themselves. I saw no 100% from Tilda, nothing from Tom. Because Adam, sorry, because he got to play the depressed, so he doesn't have to do anything.
Just mope
And
about,
then,
emo teenager.
yeah, and then you've got that old man Blimmin who's pretending to be Marlowe, and he goes and dies, and he can't even do that properly.
Yep.
That pisses me off because I've wasted 2 hours of my time watching something that the actors don't even give a shit about themselves.
Well,
Why should I invest my 2 hours of my life to you when you didn't even give 100%? You shouldn't have
well,
been
in the
paid.
context of this, we do it so folks don't have to.
Yes, that's why we do it.
Yeah, we do it so you guys out there don't have to. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's like I'll take that hit for you.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
God, that film's gonna haunt me. But it's like a bloody crow.
Oh,
God, yeah, I that hurt.
yes.
So don't don't bother.
But
Sometimes you just have to do it as a reviewer. You're like, okay, I'm taking the hit.
yes, I could
Stay
see
the hell away from this movie.
you were nearly dying doing that one. Oh my
God.
God. My heart went out to you. All I could hear was, I hate my life. I hate my life.
I think I would have hated this more if I hadn't watched The Crow recently.
Right.
I think I'm getting it. Like, I'm being very generous towards shitty movies because of that one.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm just thinking that every movie I watch now, at least it wasn't that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh my God. I've had people saying that they absolutely love the new Crow, and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. Really? Well, you aren't a proper Crow fan, are you?
Or movie fan.
Exactly. If you can just have, it's all right to replace somebody, who died, and we'll just go and bring someone else in to do the same story and then fuck the story up anyway. But I don't know. Even to hear that on The Crow, this is totally off topic, but even he said not to watch it because it was shit.
Yeah,
The
he was
main
sort of
actor.
he was dropping hints of and I hope there's not a sequel.
Exactly right. So I mean, and I'll go back to the amount of work that actors put into beforehand when they're taking on a role. You said about the Terminator. Robert Pattinson for Edward sat on a roof for a year to get his complexion completely white and to get his whole body white for the sparkly bits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like to see in a film, is where everyone's just, invested in making sure that this film is a success.
Christian
And it's like
Bale brutalizes himself for movies.
I know he either goes too skinny or he has to do the fat role where we don't even recognize Christian Bale anymore. He puts himself right on the edge of death.
Mm-hmm. He near killed himself with a machinist.
He did.
That was but that's
brilliant movie.
People don't need to go to that extreme. We just need a bit of effort. Where this movie, there's none given whatsoever. Nobody gives a shit. They're like, haha, I'm getting paid. Sucks to be you, sort of thing.
Yep.
Chris,
I guess that goes to show, that actors are, you'd want to, if you're an actor, you want to only play in really good films. You don't want to have a bad film under your belt.
Well, Christopher Lee said it very famous quote. At some stage in your career, you're going to be in a bad movie. The trick is not to be bad in them.
Yeah. And they were really bad in this.
Tilda Swinton's One Note Wonder. That's it. Like even the most mainstream, The Beach. If you've seen that one, she's the same character. Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, he's a bit dimensional as well.
Yeah, he hasn't really. What was that weird one he's in? He's playing the SAS captain. It's one of the Kong ones, wasn't it? It's one of the King Kong.
He wasn't. Well, he wasn't in the
Skull Island
one.
No, Skull Island. The one, the
could have been.
Yeah, it was Skull Island. He was in that playing but he was just himself.
Yeah.
Chris asks, what do you both feel is the appeal that many people have, mostly women, towards the romantic aspect of vampires? Because we're both like unanimously saying this is not a vampire movie. It's not even remotely close.
So Chris wants to know the appeal.
Yeah, what is the appeal? I think it's the sort of the romantic, way like Interview with a Vampire, Twilight are very romantic laden.
Yes,
and it's that whole the seduction thing, isn't it? It's the whole seduction and being swept off your feet, sort of.
Yeah. I wouldn't exactly say it's just females. Like, I know a lot of men.
No, he said mostly. He said what he wants both their opinions, but
right.
It's
because they're badass. They're the ones that look good, like an Interview with a Vampire and Twilight and Underworld. Also, she was just amazing in that. What's her face? Kate. Yeah. But then you've got ones like Blade. Okay, Blade's not an attractive-looking vampire at all. He's part vampire, but he's not attracted. I think it's the fact that they're immortal and they've been what do you call it? It's been turned into a romance thing, hasn't it? With the kissing on the neck and I want to be a vampire because and it's like it's unrealistic. It's just a it's nothing really. It's yeah. No, there's no really great big appeal, I don't think, in general. I think it's more for younger people.
It seems to
Teenage,
be that it's teenage sort of.
yes,
Oh, I want to be like I remember early 20s. I was
yes,
involved with role playing and that, so it was Vampire the Masquerade game and vampire players, and that attracted a lot of girls, where most of the other
yeah,
systems and games didn't. You
yeah,
know, and it was that whole sort of goth thing in that, and
yes, that's it. That's right.
it's the aesthetic, the look, and the sort of amalgamate it in, but then very quickly it gets sort of grown out of.
Yes,
It's probably back to the original, Bram Stoker's story. That was
yeah,
partly the whole
possibly.
thing with Lucy, but
Right,
she's not really in love. She's being hypnotized.
right.
Sure,
That's a
Christopher Lee did him as well. With the Dracula movies, he seduced women. They went
yeah,
willingly. They became vampires. But at the end of the day, he's an inhuman monster. That was always the thing.
yeah,
Vampires aren't my favorite creature. My favorite creatures are demons.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love demons. That's always been my favorite
yep,
sort of
yep.
supernatural monster.
I would say the same thing actually. Vampires aren't my favorite either. Nope. But they are a very good trope if you can do it properly.
Mm-hmm.
This, yeah, I don't know. Demons are more. You can write really good stories about demons, and you can get really, really awesome, because you can make your own story around around a demon.
Mm-hmm.
But vampires have a lore, and if you don't stick to that, you're not going to have a vampire. That's a very touchy subject, I suppose. If somebody really loves a vampire film, vampires in general, and then they go and watch something, say, like this, it's degrading to vampire fans. I don't know people who are absolutely in love with zombies, but there are some good zombie movies out there. Zombies aren't attractive, not at all.
They're more a plot device.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
I mean, replace zombies with plague of rats, aliens, mutant. I mean, it's a swarm. Locusts. It's that whole thing with zombies.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's understanding it's not the zombie themselves; it's the scenario they're in.
Yeah, and then again, you can't go and mess up a zombie lore either, because
they've been doing that. They've been doing that for last 10 years. This has been one of my main complaints. They've taken the vampire, werewolf, and zombie, and they've amalgamated the three into this homogenous grey mess that one's a bit like another. And that, you got vampires that sprout claws and basically become werebats.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely hate. You've got werewolves that, are affected, they drink blood like vampires and stuff, and it's all weird, and zombies, and they just amalgamate the three of them into a homogenous mess, because we've got, unfortunately, a generation of shit storytellers.
Yeah,
and
we do.
They've got into the creative, industry via nepotism.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it all over.
Yep, that's right.
Sure, there's Steve was telling me about Shiny Bum's latest movie, that he gets his daughter playing the main part in it, and it wasn't enough just to have her as a pop star. He made her into the whole plot because he's an arse.
Oh my god!
So it wasn't even like, okay, his daughter's a pop star, you had her playing the pop star. That would have been fine for the concert, but then that wasn't enough. He had to try and, you can be an actor too. I'll make it happen for you. That's that's the world we're living in today.
It is.
These second and third generation people who haven't earned their place and are just filling in spots, and it hurts. You're seeing the stuff they're putting out, and it's hurting art. It's making people not interested. It's not sparking people's imaginations. It's turning people off.
It is, because you want. If I was making a film, right? If I was making a big budget film, I would want it so that people would want to watch it again next year.
Mm.
And I'm bored. It's Sunday. Oh, I want to watch that again.
Yeah.
There are loads of movies out there that I've watched over and over again. Like Lucy is one. I absolutely love Lucy. There's just films, and that's what you should be aiming for when you're making a film. It's not a one-hit time. You want it to be something that people are going to keep watching next year or 2 years' time. They could pick it up and it hasn't dated. Interview with a Vampire, another one. I watched that
on anytime.
a couple of years. Yeah. And then they go and remake it with this new one, which I refuse to watch because it's not Lestat and Louis. It's not the originals. And people love originals. They don't like the reboots. They should make it illegal. They should ban it. We should have a...
Just the only way to do it is just not to go.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
don't open your wallet, don't give it to them.
Don't give them the money.
And that's it. Don't waste time. Which, but this is a reviewer, it's kind of the point, is to waste time talking about movies that are... But... At least we'll explain why, if something's not good, we'll explain why. It's not just, no, shit, and if you don't like it, you're a bad person. It's...
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just, the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, this was just painful. So they're basically at death's door. They meet Kit. Kit gives him his hip flask. Oh, this is what I've got left. And they only need a couple of drops each, and then they're perfectly fine. Then they go watch a concert, a performance, randomly, because why not? They're, a couple of drops of blood, that's all they needed. So you're telling me they could have loaded up. How was Eve able to do it before she traveled that way? They could do it on the way back?
Exactly. It didn't work. It fell apart.
And then they decide... Yeah, they're just going to eat people after all for fun.
I know, right? Oh, I don't get that. I don't get that. I mean, I could understand with Twilight, with them eating animals and bears and cougars and things like that to stay away from humans because they want to actually live in civilization. But these two don't want to live in civilization. Eve is hiding out in some hovel in Morocco, and Adam's a recluse. So it's not like they are actually integrated into the world around them. They're not. So,
or even vampire society, that there's no vampire society to be part of.
Exactly. So why all the secrecy? Why all the... it just... I don't know. My head's just... I don't know. That's just...
Why are they killing... Like, Ava, killed Ian, but we've already seen they don't need the kill. They only need that much, really. So
exactly,
what's going on here? We got no payoff as to what's so special about this blood to get. That they only need it's super concentrated, or it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. And then the ending doesn't make sense either, because then they go and decide that they are going to not only drink these young people's blood, they're going to turn them into vampires. So that was the cliffhanger. Yep. Oh, what did fucking do?
In a small town, a really close-knit community where everybody knows each other, and those two stick out like a sore thumb anyway. And plus... Kit dying cut off their blood supply because he was the one that went and got it, because they don't leave notes for each other. And his disciple / student or whatever didn't know how to go and get it. What the fuck is this?
I don't know. But Bilal, wasn't he the one originally who got them anyway? Got the freaking...
Yeah, because freaking Kit was sitting... No. Did he have the bags, or did Bilal bring the bags?
Bilal brought the bags. Didn't he?
There you go.
Oh, no.
No, he had...
No, he yeah.
No, he sat
That
them
was
on the chair.
convoluted.
She took one.
But then why
Fucking
were there
stupid.
two?
I don't know. It's stupid. It's no. This was just a pretentious, artsy fartsy film
That's
where
it.
just made for the sake of it by people that don't give a shit about vampires or vampire lore or making movies, and
No,
wooden performances.
terrible.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
And I can always find something positive to say in a film, even if it's not that good. And seriously, I just know there's nothing. There's nothing. Sorry. So I wouldn't be recommending this to anybody to watch, especially if you're a vampire lover, if you're a vampire fan.
Oh, there's a positive thing. It goes towards our baby count. We'll get babies in it, so at least our KPIs are still okay. So we're meeting our targets. There you go. There's a positive thing.
Yes, it is. Chris,
If you
go down,
haven't,
write that down. Yep.
but they're told as boobies, which we've seen hundreds of times anyway, so it's not like
Exactly. Oh my god.
and Ava didn't have any, so there you go. But yeah, well, okay, so there you go. We kept their quota. I think I've stopped counting. It just it's been
Oh
nah, that's just a yeah. Don't waste your time with this one. It should have been a short. This should have been a short.
It should have been an hour. An hour short, I would have been happy.
45 minutes, just the scene where Ava arrives and leaves, done.
Yeah.
And it could have just been after they got rid of Ian. Oh well, hopefully it's another 86 years before she turns up again. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
All the convoluted shite leading up to this and in between with no payoff or purpose or rhyme or reason doesn't make this anyway good.
No.
But
all that did was confuse everyone.
When I know the vampire movie that Tilda Swinton was in, and that's why she was in What We Do in the Shadows. So we've answered that question.
We have. Yeah.
There you go.
And no wonder people didn't click onto what Tilda being a vampire, because nobody she'd only be remembered for being a shit actress in this film.
But that was the whole point of the cameos. Everyone in the Vampire Council playing the vampire at some point. That was the sort of cool. It wasn't just the cameos, but it was a related cameo. Which once again, one episode of a frigging comedy show has more thought and connectivity than this entire movie.
Yep, pretty much.
I still don't want Taika Waititi touching Akira. Bastard, I'll hunt them down.
I know.
That's annoyed me. It's like, stay away. Look what you did to Thor. You do not touch. Akira is gold standard for, like, it's a good movie. It's a really good, tense movie.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be. You don't need to make it live action. It doesn't need to be done. There's no benefit to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what was that one? The one that played Lucy, Scarlett Johansson. She did.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson. Yep.
What the hell did she? What?
Oh, she's been in shitloads.
No, but the anime she flipping did the live action, but it was all CGI and it looked anime anyway. Oh shit! What do you call that?
Oh, was it with Ewan McGregor?
No, she was.
No. You'll have to look it up because I don't know that one.
Ghost in a Shell. Oh my god! Why did I know that? There's about flipping 6 Ghost in the Shell movies, anime ones, and she did a live action, which was basically beat for beat the same movie but with CGI, so it looked worse than the anime.
Oh no! Really?
That's what we're going to get. And also, if Taika Waititi touches Akira, he'll just mess it up because he's not in the. He needs to just go and leave Hollywood, go touch grass in the New Zealand mountains, get his center again, and go back to doing what he does best, which is quirky comedies.
Yeah. Because
and
It's known
stay away
for,
from everything like that because he doesn't
Yep.
belong there. He's not good at it.
No, he's not. No. Sorry, Taika, but yeah. That's it.
But there you go. On that happy note, don't watch this movie.
No, don't.
We've went and did some research and we found out why she was in that episode. So if you're ever wondering, there you go. This is the movie she was in. But don't watch it. It's awful. It makes no sense.
No. It's too convoluted. Yeah. It's too messed up. You'll hate it.
Yeah. But anyway, on a good note, we're back to Wellington Paranormal again, so we can have some fun next time.
Yay! So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So there you go, folks. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And until next time, keep up the channel, do the type of things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.